Hey guys, welcome to the third and final part of our China religion notes. We are going to look at Buddhism today. So, what is Buddhism like today? We looked at it through that same lens when we did Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. We're going to do it one more time here or another time with Buddhism. We'll do it again with Hinduism later. But looking at Buddhism today, Buddhism is not as big as what we saw Christianity to be. So, Buddhism really has about 470 million followers, which is a lot, but when you compare that to the number of Christians and Muslims and Jews, it's significantly less than that. Countries where Buddhism is mostly practiced are the countries of Tibet, Nepal, Japan, China, and Southeast Asia. There we go. East Asia. And other, oh wow, hold on. Whoopsies, I messed that up. Vietnam. Sorry, my bad, guys. Let me erase that. You can try that again. Nope, we already had Southeast Asia. I meant to write Vietnam. Sorry. So we have Tibet, Nepal, Japan, China, Vietnam, and other parts of Southeast Asia. Now this map is really hard to see. I'm kind of trying to lean a little bit so I can see it better on my map, but it's colored by the percentages of people who identify as being Buddhist in that country. I am going to zoom a little bit on this, see if it'll let me zoom here. So you can see that the majority of the countries are over here in the southeast, here in like Southeast Asia is where the majority of them are. Really down in that southern part is where that deepest pinkish color is. So that's where we see the majority of Buddhists being. But you'll notice that there is some pink in the United States as well. So it is possible to find people who identify as being Buddhist in other parts of the world. So I'm going to erase this here. We're going to move then into where followers of Buddhism practice. So a person who identifies as being Buddhist will worship in places called temples. So when we talked about Judaism, we talked about synagogue, we talked about Christianity, we talked about churches, and with Islam, we talked about mosques. Buddhists worship in temples or in their own homes. They don't have really a specific place. Here's a picture of a temple, but you don't always have to worship in a temple. It's very possible to worship Buddhism in your own home. The most famous temple would be the home of the Dalai Lama, which is the last kind of bullet point here. The Dalai Lama. And we talked about the Dalai Lama a little bit already when we talked about theocracies in our government unit. So when we talked about theocracies in our government unit, we talked about how in Tibet there is a theocracy because the Dalai Lama is in charge, like the Pope is in charge of the Catholic Church. The Dalai Lama is believed to be a reincarnation of a past Lama that has agreed to be born again to help humanity. So we see here that the Dalai Lama, it's believed that Dalai Lama has been a person that has been reincarnated, a past Lama who has come again to help humanity. There's been a total of 14 Dalai Lamas throughout history. So not a whole lot, but still it's a pretty significant number. So I have some pictures here that I'm going to show you, so just give me a minute here to erase. There we go. So if we scoot over, this is a picture of the Dalai Lama. And his traditional colors would be the red and the yellow. He's a very old man, a very elderly man. As far as I know, a new Dalai Lama is not chosen until the old Dalai Lama has passed. I don't know that for sure. I'm not 100% sure on how that works. But we do have a picture of the Dalai Lama. He is very famous, very beloved by his people. That's it. That's all we're going to do for these notes. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment in the Google Classroom. But other than that, that's going to be it for the religion notes. There's no homework tonight with this. We will pick up with achievements tomorrow. All right, I'll see you there, guys. Bye.